Morning, everyone. Let's get started. So, as usual, we start with the same question. Why do you want to learn Power BI, right? So let's do one thing. Just quickly introduce yourself, your name, and if you're working somewhere, okay? And what is your experience? You are into what kind of role, right? And why do you want to learn Power BI? Yeah. So online participants, we are doing this session both online and offline. So yeah, anyone?
Yeah, hi, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Right. My name is Sharath. I work for State Street Bank, and I'm a project lead there. And the reason I would like to learn how I work is as a project lead, I need some exposure on BI tools. So that's the only reason I would like
Okay, thank you. Others, please.
Hi, sir. Good morning. This is Arjun Dingari. So, I previously worked with the Cognizant and Wipro. So, now I want to learn about this Power BI. I have taken a break because of my personal reasons. So, after learning these concepts, again, I want to restart my career. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that. Others?
Hi Satish, I'm Srihari. So I work for Info India Private Limited and is senior financial analyst. So in that we do the automations using the macros and then Power BI along with advanced Excel. So for that, want to learn Power BI. And also we prepare the dashboards.
Okay, cool. Others, please.
Hi, good morning, sir. This is Ganesh. I'm working as a senior accountant in Clarivate. Right now, I'm in accounting role. Want to explore in reporting role also. So, learning for Power BI.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the next one. Yeah, I see your response in the chat window, Chaitanya. All right, okay. Fine then. So, okay. So, data is everywhere. Data is universal. So you take any company, a lot of data is there these days because, the availability of the applications on the internet, everyone is able to record so much of data using different applications, right? So once the data is there, what do these companies want to do? They want to analyze the data, right? Earlier, it was kind of okay with Excel because Excel, is also a great tool, no doubt about it. So many formulas are there, pivoting, dashboarding, so many things we can do. But the challenge here is that as the data is growing significantly, very, very, high, then Excel, as you know, most of you know this, Excel has a limitation. In one sheet, it can only handle up to 1 million records. But what if I have 3 million or 10 million or 100 million records? Excel is not the right tool there. Of course, there are other techniques using Power Query. You can load the data into data model and you can still work in Excel. But in terms of the performance, Excel is not so great there. Okay, so for that reason only, we have like different kind of tools available in the market. Like we have Power BI, we have Tableau, ClickSense, and so many other tools. Okay, so yeah, it's basically about Excelytics, what I'm currently showing on my screen. So let me quickly introduce myself as well. I'm Kishore, and it's been 16 plus years I'm into this reporting analytics, automation. Currently working a lot with Copilot, ChatGPT, Power Apps, and Power Automate. So I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I'm MCP Microsoft certified professional. I'm a PL 300 certified data analyst associate. It's a Power BI certification from Microsoft, and I completed almost all the certifications in MS Office, like Excel expert, Word expert, Access expert, PowerPoint specialist, Outlook specialist, and so on. I'm Deloitte Faculty Excellence certified, and I got like other good certifications there. So I mean, I work with different tools, like right from basics of Excel to, macros, SQL, SAP Crystal Reports, business objects, business intelligence, ClickView, Tableau, Power BI, right? These days I'm working on Power Apps, Power Automate, worked with different domains, revenue cycle management, US healthcare, IT assets analytics, contract center analytics. Got like experience with different domains like this. Don't think I'm from technical education background. I'm MBA finance, from BCom. So these tools are like kind of easy to learn for most of us. Okay, it's just that you need to have that, the passion to learn new things, and a little bit of logical thinking is needed, because we deal with a lot of data. So if an kind of a KPI, a key performance indicator, is needed for the business, so we need to think logically and how to achieve that output, right? So we need to write so many different types of formulas, and we need to fine tune the data as needed, right? So if that skill is there, that is enough to get into this data analytics role. So your education really doesn't matter here, right? So you may come from the technical, non-technical. Graduation also, it's not a mandatory thing. Only one thing is that few of the companies, they have certain criteria to hire only the graduates, but otherwise to learn this skill, even if someone is coming from, not with a graduation also, it's fine. Okay. Okay, so coming to this particular course, it is our Power BI course. Earlier we completed SQL. So if someone joining directly Power BI today, so my recommendation for you to learn SQL also. Okay, so that is very much needed, okay, to understand the Power BI modeling and all. So what we usually do is that the couple of sessions in Power BI, once again, we'll cover SQL fundamentals, because those things are needed to build the data models. Okay, so for the ones who already completed SQL sessions with us, it is more like a refresher for you before we go into Power BI. And someone directly joining Power BI, then my recommendation for you is, after Power BI sessions, it is recommended to join SQL also, because this will give you clear idea about where the data is stored, how it gets stored there, how we can extract the data from the databases to Power BI. Because as you know, when we use Power BI, when we have a lot of data, where we can store a lot of data in a database, that means one should learn the skill of interacting with the database and extract the data as well, right? So that's the reason learning SQL is needed. What if someone doesn't have Excel knowledge? Okay. What if someone doesn't have Excel knowledge? Then this is not the right session for you. My recommendation for you to start from Excel, because Excel has a very easy user interface to understand different concepts there, the data, table structures, table formats, pivot tables, dashboarding. Once you learn Excel well, then understanding SQL and Power BI is going to be easy. Okay, if someone directly joined Power BI, definitely you will, I'm not saying it is impossible to learn, but you will struggle to understand those concepts. I'll tell you a simple example. I say that you can write a VLOOKUP in this case and get this output in Excel, right? And I talk about the same concept in Power BI, saying, okay, you can create a relationship here, right? If someone who understands VLOOKUP, then only they understand easily what is a relationship and what is a merging concept in Power BI, right? So that's the reason learning Excel is kind of, very much needed here. Okay. So if you are coming from a little bit of Excel knowledge, like pivots and lookups and all, then yes, it is okay for you to proceed with this course. But if you are very, very new to Excel, then I definitely wouldn't recommend this. All right. So let me take you through our course outline. I'll with that here. So this batch number is B00680. Okay, any information that you need regarding this course, you can reach out to the front office with this number and they can share, right? And there will be one WhatsApp group. There you will be getting the notifications, Yeah, coming to this course, it's almost like a good 20 to 24 days course. Like it's a 1 month course because we run only from Monday to Friday. Okay. Every day morning around 7:40 we start. 7:30 you can come down, settle down, and 7:40 around we start the sessions. Okay. So if there are any major festivals, there are there are holidays. Okay, but if there is any holiday, definitely the notification will come in your WhatsApp group itself, right? Fine then. As I said, it's a 1 month course. We start from basics of BI. What is business intelligence? How it, why it is needed, how it can be done in the real-time world, right? How the data is captured, gathered from different sources, right? That is where we start, and how to install Power BI desktop, um, how to create a simple report, okay, using different data sets. We'll do all that stuff. And then we'll move on to get data and transform data with Power Query. Power Query is a data transformation platform because the data that we get in the real time may not be in the right format. So using Power Query, we should be able to turn that data into some format. Then only we can create the reports using that. So we use different techniques there in the Power Query. We remove the columns, we append the data, we merge the data, we group the data, we fill down, we unpivot, we pivot the data, we transpose the data. So many different techniques are there. Someone who is coming from macros background, you would really love working with Power Query because here you don't need to do any kind of a coding. With simple steps, you will be able to get the same output like a macro does. Okay, macro is Excel VBA automation programming language is there, right? So there we do a lot of coding, but in Power Query, you don't need to do that. It's just like with simple clicks, you can get that output. Okay, so we will be learning all those different techniques there in Power Query, and it uses a language called M language. We also understand what is this M language, how to write our own M language queries and all. And once we are done with the cleanup of the data, the next thing is whatever the cleaned data is there, we need to load that into the data model. There we work with different types of tables and we create the relationships between the tables, okay, using the primary key, foreign key. Someone who is coming from no background of SQL. Someone coming from SQL background, they understand it. Let's say if someone doesn't know this SQL, then I'll, in the next couple of sessions, we'll be talking about SQL fundamentals only. There I'll cover what is a primary key, foreign key, how to create the relationships to build the data models. So in that data modeling concept, so many things we will learn, like how to create ad hoc tables, date tables, relationships, inactive relationships, right? The relationships cardinality, like what is one to many to one to one, many to many, right? And also how to hide the tables, how to create sorting tables. So many concepts are there. Your data is accurate. If your model is created with any errors or any mistakes, okay, then your output is also going to be a mistake only, or a wrong output you will see there. Okay, data is correct, report logics are correct, but if the data model is not correct, then also you will see incorrect numbers there. So we need to be really careful, loading the right data into the right model with the right relationships and all. That helps us creating better visuals, right? Whatever the visual that you see, all that information that is pulled from the model only. The model itself is designed incorrectly. The number that you see on the visual is also incorrect. The data may be 100% accurate data, 100% accurate data you loaded into the model, but the model concepts are not followed correctly, then output on the visuals will be incorrect, right? So modeling plays a very, very crucial role there. And once models are ready, then we'll move on to the data visualization. There we have different types of visuals, like the regular visuals, column charts, line charts, donuts, pie charts, waterfalls and all. But you also have new visuals like ribbon charts. Okay, you also have smart narrative, you have key influencers, you have these tree map charts or decomposition tree, right? Along with that, you can also download the custom visuals, something like animated bar chart rays or word cloud, and so many different types of visuals are there. I'll show you how to download them. To download them, we need to have Power BI service account. Okay, so Power BI service account is basically the cloud version of the Power BI. Once you are done with the report design here, we publish it. Okay, on to the online, something like Power BI service, and your client will be able to see from US or any other location. They can just open with their credentials and they can see the report, right? So for that, we need a Power BI service account, and that service account, how to create, I'll show you. And moreover, this service account requires a company's email address, a business email address, not like a Gmail or Yahoo mail, right? So for that business email address, I'll show you the techniques like how you can get your business email address and how to create this. And moreover, for the Power BI service account, there is a pro license, which is around $10. You don't need to pay that. I'll show you how you can create your free account. Okay, as a single user, it is free, so you don't need to pay anything there. Right, so different types of visuals we create, and on that we try to apply different slicers, filters. I think someone who is from Excel background, you know what is a slicer, how to apply filters using the slicers or timelines. Similarly, slicing and dicing is possible in Power BI, and moreover, the visuals what we create in Power BI, they are interactive visuals. I'll show you one example today. On the visual itself, you can click and you can filter the data. Okay, we'll see that one as well. Okay, this is all fine. We got the data, we cleaned the data, we loaded into the model, and we created a proper model. We loaded that model information into a visual. Visuals are, showing the correct numbers. Great. But here we go. We need to learn how to write the formulas in Power BI. Why? Because the requirements of the real time is not always easy. I mean, easy to clear, okay, or easy to get the output. The reason being, let's say if I want to see total sales, it's kind of very easy. In Excel also, if you have a sales column, what is that you do equal to sum of so on, and this is your total. That's great. But sometimes the businesses, they give us a tricky requirement saying, okay, I want to see today's total sales is 100. Exactly 1 year ago, nothing but April 22nd, 2024. What are my total sales? And do a comparison with today's sales versus the last year same date sales. And tell me what is the variance percentage. I want to see that as a KPI. You see that? Then going with the normal summarizations and all, it is not going to help you. Then you will have to write formulas to get these kind of outputs based on the company's requirements. So these formulas are called, the DAX functions. DAX, DAX, data analysis expression. So there are so many different types of DAX functions are there. But one good thing with this DAX is, if you are coming from Excel background, whatever the formulas that you learned in Excel, the same formulas are available in DAX. 60-65% of the formulas you see very much same. You use a substitute formula in Excel, it's the same substitute in DAX. You use a sum formula in Excel, you have a same sum formula in DAX. Right? You have a replace in Excel, you have the same replace in DAX. Okay, so you have Excel formulas. Similarly, in Power BI, we have DAX formulas. Okay, most of the places, the names are also same. Most of the functions are, with the same names, they are available. So very, very easy to write. If someone is coming from Excel background, okay, a good 60-70 different types of DAX functions we apply. One of those DAX functions, very, very powerful, is a calculate function. This is a filter controlling function. Okay, what is a filter function and all? We will learn that slowly. Okay, so calculate function, and we spend a good amount of time and multiple examples and the real-time use cases we see on the calculate function as well. Okay, your data is ready, model is ready, created the visuals, created the DAX for better analysis of your data. And then what is that we need to do? We need to publish the report. Once the report is ready, what is that we need to do? We need to publish the report, publish it online so that your clients can see it from any place. So for that, we already created one Power BI service account, right? In our visualization section itself, I told you that there will create one Power BI service account. So we start publishing these reports online. Okay, so we'll be able to find that report online. Your client can open it just by going to the Power BI service account, right? And they can see the report, they can apply the filters and all, and then they can understand, okay, what's going on in the business. Right, here we go. One very, very important point here. Let me put across this question from the Excel standpoint, and then we'll switch to Power BI. I have one report, a sales performance report, and I have 5 regions there in the sales performance report. Okay, each region has a region manager. You are a data analyst. You need to create this report and you need to send it to the managers. But here's the point. you need to share the respective regions data with the regional manager. You cannot share other regions data, right? Because these guys are not supposed to see the other regions data. What is that we do? If it is Excel,
Create 5 sheets.
exactly, we need to create 5 different workbooks. 5 different workbooks, and each workbook contains only the respective data of the regional manager, right? So you need to send them, and the CEO wants to see overall. Then that means you will have to have one more file that consists of all 5 regions. You see that the maintenance is, is like really challenging in Excel. Is it possible sometimes you type one regional manager email address, but attach some other region's file? By any chance? Possibility is there? Sometimes, yeah, let's say if you're working under so much pressure and, you type one, email address, but you attach some other region, file, then it will create a lot of mess there, right? You're getting the point? But here in Power BI, we have something called RLS, row level security, right? Report is going to be same for all of us, but when I open, I see a different set of data. When you open, you see a different set of data. Right, that is how we can configure. So the maintenance work is like very, very easy in Power BI. So how to set up the RLS, how to set up dynamic RLS, how to set up static RLS. We'll talk about all these things. Okay, fine. So overall, this covers both Power BI desktop and Power BI service, both of them, okay, in one go. We'll learn how to develop the reports using Power BI desktop and how to manage these reports on Power BI service, both the concepts, both admin concepts and the developer concepts. Okay, it's going to take about a good 1 month time, right? Monday to Friday, morning time. Okay, done. So this is all fine, but I still get a doubt, like, why do I need to learn Power BI, right? Why like this? Why not, any other tool? Okay, or why not only Excel? Okay, you get these kind of questions. Let me show you a situation here. Then you will understand why we need to learn these kind of Power BI or Tableau or any other tool. As you know that the data is growing, right? GBs of data. Excel definitely not going to be the right tool to handle GBs of data. Okay. But Excel is a great tool, no doubt. As long as you are working with a 3 lakh, 4 lakh records, it's like very easy. A 300,000, 400,000 records is kind of easy. If the data is like really heavy inside the Excel report, then Excel performance is very, very slow, right? So for that, we need to learn a better tool, something like a Power BI. Okay. Power BI also is recommended for a mid-sized data set up to 1 GB record set, okay, or a data set. I'll talk about the limitations of Power BI also later. So you need to learn Power BI kind of a tool for the better reporting and visualization. Great. If you want to create a report, what is needed?
Data.
Data is needed. Perfect. So the data is there, usually is there in some database, right? It could be a SQL Server database or Oracle database, DB2, Teradata. There are so many databases available. And good thing is that most of them are RDBMS, the relational databases. Okay, relational databases where the data is stored in the form of tables and that have the relationships. Okay, so you have the data in database and you want to create a report using Power BI. So there is a language needed to interact with it. SQL, structured query language. So you write a query and it goes to the database and it gets us the required amount of data and we can use the data to create a report. Okay, so this is the reason learning, a little bit of SQL is also very much important for us. You want to create a report, great, but where is this data? I mean, you need the data, right, to create a report. Where is this data? This data is there in the database. So you need to learn how to extract the data. Sometimes we write SQL queries to extract the data. Sometimes you don't need to write SQL queries directly using Power BI. You can directly connect to the SQL server and get the data. That is also possible. But writing the SQL query is always recommended. Okay, we'll also see that. Okay, so if you are using Power BI, you need some data. You go to the database using a SQL query and you get the required amount of data and then you create a report. So someone who has this entire knowledge, like, using one tool in the reporting layer, SQL language and RDBMS, right? Then it's easy for them to get into data analytics role. Okay. Excel users also there. Usually, Excel users, they do a lot of MIS related stuff where the data may be coming in some other formats, right? And they will be doing only the recurring reports like daily reports, weekly reports, monthly reports and all. But data analyst roles and responsibilities are little more than the MIS analyst. Okay. But someone gets a MIS analyst role also great, because there are high chances that, we can go towards the data analytics role also in the next step, right? Fine then. So reporting layer, you may be using different tools, but for the data, there are different databases, right? And using SQL, we get the data and we create the report. Okay. So the next couple of sessions, I'll be talking more about SQL fundamentals only. What is SQL, how it looks, and what is a table, what is a key, what is a primary key, what is a foreign key. We definitely need to learn before we proceed to Power BI sessions. Okay. Done. Let me show you the material package once, so that you will get some idea once you download this material, how to navigate. Okay. So we start with instructions there, how to install, and also in our next sessions, we'll learn how to install Power BI Desktop and how to sign up for Power BI documentation, and each and every document is there. I'll take you through and I'll help you out, like how to use these instructions to complete the steps. Okay. So that's where it starts. And then we also need to understand the keys. I told you, right? SQL basics are needed for this. We'll talk about that. What is schema designing? What is a primary key? How these tables look, right? Once you understand these concepts, you will be able to interact with any database, because all these databases, they work on the similar rules. Okay. And then we use different types of data sources. It could be Excel source or a CSV or a SQL server directly. You can connect a web page, you can directly connect and read the data. You can read the data directly from a folder, or let's say you have, a good 80 customer files are there, 80 customer files. All these 80 customer files, using macros, you can consolidate them like with a program. You don't need to write any program. With Power Query, with simple click, you can combine all the files into a single table. Right. Yeah, it usually takes a long time if you open manually and copy paste the data into a single table, but with the help of Power Query, with one click, you can get that. Okay. So how to do all these kind of things, these things are like, you can set up like an automated process, and every time the files change there and you just need to refresh, that's it. It loads the data. So that is how we can set up an automated process on all these different, tables. So we understand working with the different data sources, and we also work with DAX functions, right? Visuals. Okay, here we go. I would like to show you this. Most of the working professionals also, they have this challenge. They want to create a nice, dashboard, but the choice of the visuals may not be so great. As a result, the dashboard won't be able to, convey the right type of message to the end user. There are certain things like when you look at the dashboard, you may not need any further explanation. You just look at the dashboard, you will understand what's happening there. A few dashboards, they work like that, right? But a few dashboards, even after spending half an hour on that dashboard, you may not be able to understand what's happening there, right? Just because of the visual selection, right? For every visual, there is a meaning. Okay, you can go with a particular visual only if you are, doing certain thing there. Let's say if you are performing comparison among the time, then you need to go with a few categories. You need to go with a bar chart, column chart, or a combo. If the same comparison over the time with a cyclical data, you need to go with a radar chart. With non-cyclical data, you need to go with a line chart and all, right? So this guide will discuss in the visualization. Then you will be able to create better dashboards with the meaningful visuals. We all can create the dashboards, but the only thing is that if the choice or the selection of the visuals is not so great, then the end user, won't be able to understand the, the message from the dashboard. So this is what we practice as part of the data visualization. Okay. And then we'll move on to, different practicals we'll be doing and Power BI service concepts, how to, create the account, how to grant permission for the others, right? There are different rules and the permissions available, like admin, member, contributor, viewer. These are the different roles available and who should be able to do what we'll discuss. Okay. And finally, yeah, sample reports are the ones we'll be continuously, I'll be working on multiple reports, and every report I'll be saving inside this sample reports only going forward. Okay. We'll do a final project, but before that, I'll explain a couple of projects. Okay. A results dashboard or a sales dashboard or COVID cases, you can, use different things there. And final project is there. This is your project work. We'll give you the data set, we'll give you the client requirement, and you need to get the output. Okay, this is exported into, you should create something like this with so many buttons in it, top 5 analysis, top 10, top 8 and all, with slicers, case chart, and with target values and, different parameters we need to set. So we'll be creating one final project. This is your, post-training project that you need to complete. So the data sets will be given to you with the dimensions and fact tables, and project requirements will be given. And you need to read, understand, okay, what is there, and try to come up with an output. Okay, so you need to read the entire documentation and come up with the output like this. Okay, that's our final project. Okay, so as discussed, we start from what is business intelligence, what is Power BI, right? What is data, where it is stored, from all those basics up to how to create a dashboard in Power BI service. So many concepts are there, right? Security related we do, and moreover, one more thing is there, the periodic refresh also. Once we publish the report onto Power BI service, we don't need to refresh it manually. We schedule the job, okay? Then automatically it does that, okay? Every day, morning 8 o'clock, the report needs to be refreshed. Yes, it can refresh it, okay? That is what we do. You got some idea, right? This entire course material and all. This will be uploaded to Google Drive, this entire material package, and you can download from there. Whatever the files I'm using, everything is there. So in the Google, on the Google Drive also. So you can practice the same exercises. Okay. Done. And coming to the session videos, they will be uploaded right after the session, usually around by 9 o'clock will be done. So by 10:30, 11 o'clock, this will be uploaded. So before coming to the next day session, just in case if you want to do any practice and all, you can look at the, you can watch the video and you can practice that. Okay, done. Coming to, once the sessions are over, there is a certification from Microsoft, PL 300 certification, which is Power BI Data Analyst Associate certification. If anyone is interested to go for the certification, you just let me know and I can let you know the steps. You can do it online or you can do it from us also. Okay, so I'll show you the steps. But for that, there is a different material available. And just in case if you're looking to go for the certification, just let me know so that I'll help you how you can go for the certification. Okay, certification fee is 4,860 rupees plus 18% GST, somewhere around 5,700 rupees, close to 700 and something is there, 742 something. Okay, so but it's like 1 year, it has a 1 year validity. Okay, you will have to go for a renewal. Renewal is free. Renewal is free. Okay. So I can write the exam. Once you write the exam, you clear the certification. From then that point, you will have a 1 year time. Okay, and your certification will be in active state only. After 6 months, it will open that renewal exam window for you. And during the last 6 months, anytime you can take the exam so that it gets extended by 1 more year. Right? Anytime, every year, you know, you need to go for a renewal. Renewal is free. You can take that from any place. Okay. But for the first one, it is like you need to either do it an online test with online proctoring, or you can go to any of the test centers and you can write the exam. Yeah, I'll let you know the process once you are done with the training program. And if you want to go for the certification, let us know. Then I'll show you the process how to get it. Done? Fine, okay. So course outline, you know, course durations and all, you know, what are the things are covered inside the course and how much time it's going to take, you know. The course material, now you know. The video, I gave you an update, and the batch number, you know, any communication that you want to do regarding this batch, you can talk to them. Front office, it is B00680, right? Certification, now you know, right? Done. The next one is, how about the job opportunities? Right? Once I learn Power BI, how the jobs are there in the market. So instead of saying something, let's do one thing. I'll just search Power BI jobs in Hyderabad, okay? Deloitte. SQL, Databricks, Azure Data Factory, ADF. See that? Power BI. You see that? This is what? Yeah, if you want to become a Power BI analyst, you know, still they are asking for pivot tables and lookups. They are there in Excel, right? That's the reason having Azure is a cloud-based technology from Microsoft. Something like if you have a SQL server, right? It is there to store the data, right? Similarly, Azure Data Factory is also a place where you can have your data, and it's like a cloud-based one, okay, from Microsoft. So all the Azure ones, right? Synapse is another thing now, right? All these things are the data storage techniques only. And once that is done, you see that Power Apps and Power Automate. Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI are now, they are part of Power Platform of Microsoft. There are other things also in Power Platform. But yeah, these are the things most commonly used: Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power BI. So I think, is it for the Hyderabad location only? Yes, it's for the Hyderabad location. They are asking no degree mentioned. I don't think a specific education background is needed. At where? No degree mentioned. Okay, looks like no specialization. Anyone can apply, and it's just like only 5 days ago. TCS, 4 to 10 years, Power BI, right? You see SQL, Microsoft SQL Server, DAX, right? Though the role shows Power BI developer, for sure, you take any role randomly, okay? So let me take this. You see that? You take Power BI developer, but inside that, definitely you will see SQL. Why? Because as a Power BI developer, you know, right? You want to create a report. What is needed? Data is needed. Where is the data? Data is there in the database. Then how do you extract the data? Using SQL language, right? So that's the reason. So you take anything randomly, you can just pay for wire. Responsibility is skills. DAX is there. Database knowledge also should be mentioned. Usually it is mentioned. Otherwise, I'll go to any other. Fusion plus solutions. You see, these guys are looking for Python, SQL. Sometimes the experience is not needed in for a few of the roles, like, they are okay for the freshers also, but at least, sometimes they expect 1 year experience. Okay. There is a reason also, because unless someone has some experience with that SQL and all, they may not be able to perform up to the mark. But there are a few companies they look for only freshers. There are certain companies they look for freshers. You see that
Or
again?
with a huge career gap.
Sorry.
People with huge career gap, they can like get something.
Probably, lot of, I mean, the huge career gap is there and a number of years gap is there. Then at least, if someone has some working experience before that, okay, you can highlight that, and also that experience you will have to show it as a reporting experience, right? Working with Excel and all. And when it comes to Power BI, you may need to start as a beginner in Power BI, but with your previous experience may be there, right? So, but make sure you highlight Excel related things, whatever you did in your role, make sure you highlight only the Excel related things. That means, you are good with the reporting and, all those fundamentals of reporting. Then you may need to enter as an, a beginner level in Power BI. Okay. Otherwise, I mean, obviously, once you complete this training program, you will have great idea about end-to-end Power BI implementation. Then you can also mention a couple of, points about Power BI, and you can enter into an organization with some experience also. That's fine, right? But usually the questions what we get is, okay, what did you do during this time and things like that. So just be ready with some solid answer for that, right? There may be multiple reasons, if someone has a gap, there may be multiple reasons, but make sure the reasons that you have, they must give a justification why you took a break, right? Jen Brampton. Power BI, KPIs, you see that? SQL. So you take any role, this is how it looks. Okay. So in Hyderabad itself, there are good number of opportunities available, right? Yeah. So as we discussed, it starts from basics of BI up to how to publish a dashboard. I mean, how to create a dashboard on Power BI service. These are the things that we are going to learn. And as part of the training itself, I'll cover how to install Power BI desktop. Okay. Only one thing is that if you are not coming from the SQL background, you may not have the SQL server installed in your system. So for that, you will have to complete the SQL training only. Okay, but the rest of the data sources, like be it reading the data from a web page or an Excel file or a CSV from a folder, I'll show you all those things. I'd like to show you one quick example of why Power BI is so powerful. Okay, hardly takes any kind of any time to create a report. Let's say, let me show you. I'm reading the data directly from a web page. Okay, over there, and I want to get the data from a web page. You can also connect to your internal SharePoints. If you have a SharePoint folder or a SharePoint list, you can connect to that, right? You see there is some data which is coming from the COVID WHO website. So it is reading the data from there. Okay. Once the data is loaded, you see how easy it is. I'll just ask a question. It is preparing a Q&A. This has a great feature like Q&A, question and answer. I'll ask it. I want to understand the total cases, total new cases across the globe as per WHO. These many cases are there. So I'll just do one thing, call out value I'll set to auto, 778 million cases. Okay. So this is reading the data from a web page, and once the data is loaded into Power BI, I can ask those questions here, right? I want to see the total cases by country. Okay, I asked like each and every country how the number of cases are there. Like in India, we have like 45 million cases, and in USA, we have like 103 million cases, something like that. And I'm not happy the way that it is producing the output on a bar chart. I want to see it on a map chart, on a map. You see that turns that into a map chart. So, to create a report in dashboard, to create a report in Power BI, you don't need to come from a reporting background actually. If you know how to interact with it with simple Q&As, also it can show you this output, right? Probably you would have seen these YouTube ads, okay? I want to become a Power BI pro, right? Just attend our 3 hours workshop and next day you will become a master of Power BI. Sometimes when I watch those videos, I look at myself and smile. If someone can master Power BI in 3 hours, what is that I've been doing from the last 16 years with different tools? It's not possible, I'll tell you, because it is well-structured data. I'm asking a question and I know exactly what I'm doing. So I'm asking a question and I'm getting an output. But understand that real-time requirements, everything is unique. Everything is unique, right? Today, your business gives you a certain requirement. Tomorrow, it may be a different kind of a requirement, and wherein you will have to write so many different, formulas to achieve that output. Data modeling may be different there. Data transformation steps may be different. I can take some sample data like this and I can quickly I can put together everything like a dashboard in 2 minutes hardly. I just ask a few questions. I'll take, a card visual and I'll take, total number of, unfortunate deaths there. And, I can also do like one more line chart or something to show, the number of new cases, right? And I can show like this, and I can say that, okay, so your report is ready. Like if I select USA, the cases fluctuation is like this. And if you select India, the cases fluctuation. So these things can be done in 2 minutes, right? Maybe less than 2 minutes, right? But the real-time situations are not as simple as this. Just to show only some average, showing the sum and average, even, the school students can also do, right? But the requirements are always dynamic, always unique. So you'll have to write so many formulas for them, right? Sometimes you may need to use additional visuals. Just log into my account. I'll show you an animated bar chart, right? So these kind of things are not possible in Excel. Okay, getting additional visuals and all, but here, yes, you can download them, you can use them, right? It won't take this much time. Yeah. Right, got added. You see, these kind of visuals, you would have seen them on, LinkedIn, Facebook. Let me show you the way it works. Name, country, value is cumulative cases, and period is the date and date reported. And I want to see the top 15 countries. Okay, you see that. So initially China was reporting all the numbers, right? See, other countries also started reporting the numbers. You would have seen these kind of things. The digital currency usage or the World Cups or the gold medals won by a country, right? In Olympics. This kind of a visual only. It hardly takes any 2 minutes to configure. You download it, configure it, that's it. Leave it and you can record a video. Right? China, I think up to 80,000, it was reporting the cases. Until then, there was no much progress in other countries, but yeah, once it touched 80, when other countries started reporting more number of cases, you see that the numbers in other countries now increasing. Yeah, so these kind of things can be done really easy with the animated bar chart race and all. You can download so many other things also, right? A good number of types of charts are possible. You see that all these things you can download and you can use them. Okay, so we'll talk about a few of the important visuals that we most commonly use. Okay. So material package, you got some idea already, right? Each and everything that is needed for this training is already there. Done? Okay, any questions you have? It's here. Any questions? Online participants, any questions? Okay. I said I'll show you one quick report. How to create. We'll install Power BI, okay, in our second session or third session beginning. Okay, I'll cover SQL basics first. Okay. I want to get some data. I'll show you how quickly I can create a report. Okay. I'm connecting to one Excel file that has transactions, products, and customers. I'll have to do a little bit of cleaning in the data. I'll explain what is that null and all later. Whatever the Excel data is there, I just loaded. I'm loading that into Power BI. Now you see how easy for me to create a report. I told you, right? You no need to come from the reporting or analytics background to do this. Just do a double click. So sales data is there, okay? I want to understand my total sales, total profit, total quantity, total sales. Okay. Let's turn the call out value to auto 20.92. With the help of questions, you can do it, or directly you can take a visual and you can show total profit, total quantity. Otherwise, you can ask a question, total sales by state on a map. Done. Right? Total sales by category on a pie. Done. You see that? This is like really easy to create a report with simple questions. Okay, this is another technique we will learn. Okay, after loading the data into Power BI, then how to ask the right question and get the output. Okay, so this way, if you want to create, hardly takes 2 minutes to create a report. But there are so many different concepts inside. Okay, a simple example could be just got the day name from the given date. I want to see how my sales are by the day name. Okay, so we have the day name and the total sales. You see that Saturday, Wednesday, and all. So you think like, okay, this is not in the same order. I mean, it's not in the ascending order. So what we'll do is we'll sort the axis in ascending and sort the axis by the day name. Is it giving us the correct output? Yes, no. Instead of the weekday name order, it is giving us alphabetical order. Right? Someone who is new to Power BI, they need to understand what is this sort order concept. Okay, then only they can do this. Otherwise, creating a normal visual like this, it's kind of easy. But when it comes to a situation like this, how to solve the situation, right? How to use a sort order technique, right? These kind of things we'll have to learn. Easy reports and all, anyone can create. Okay, so this is where we spend some time and understand the different concepts of Power BI. So overall, right from the basics of Power BI to how to create a very powerful dashboard on Power BI service. These are the things we are going to learn. Okay, great. As I mentioned, the batch number is B00680. Please reach out to the front office just in case if you require any additional information. And we start around 7:40, right? And if you have a laptop, please bring the laptop also. You can practice here after the session or during the session also. I'll give you few exercises. And there are a few kind of exercises during the session, and I'll let you know when to do what. And if you can practice that continuously, then yes, by end of this session you will have fair understanding about Power BI. Okay, great. So any other questions online?
Sure, do we have Python here? PY in the visualization?
Yes, we can get the Python visuals. Someone who knows Python, they can create Python visuals and they can get them here.
Will you teach over there? I mean,
no, not in this, because Python is a different course that we offer. So someone, first of all, you should learn Python to integrate Python visuals here. Because in Power BI, yeah, covering Python concepts again, it will take a good at least 15-20 days.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So someone who is good with Python, you can also integrate Python visuals, or you can trigger, the Power Automate codes from here directly, or you can integrate with Power Apps, right? Other integrations possible, but you need to have some idea about those tools also before implementing them here. Okay. anyways, in our one of the programs, Analytics Power Pack, we are going to include Python, basics of Python. Just at least you know how to create the visuals, right? How to work with these libraries and all. So a 1 week sessions is what we are thinking of including in our Analytics Power Pack course itself, right? So then maybe if someone chooses that course, then yes, it has like Excel, SQL, Power BI, Python, all of them, right? Then you may be, yeah, you will be able to create visuals using Python also. Yeah. Cool then. Great. So I'll upload this material to this B00680 Google Drive. It's already there. I'll upload the material and from there you can download. Just have a word with the front office. They need your Gmail address to grant the permission to the Google Drive and all. Right, just have a word and tomorrow onwards we'll get into the subject and step by step we'll learn. Yep. Cool then. So online participants, thanks for attending. Yeah, thanks for attending. And I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Kishore.
Thank you.